Hey, welcome to Class Act Media. I'm Jack, and you may remember that a while ago I did a video reading some of my old Wonder Boy comics, the character I created when I was a little kid. And if you haven't seen that video, click here. I think this is where they put the information tab. But I have more comics, and people seem to like that first video. And I had fun making it. So let's jump right into issue number 5 of Wonder Boy, Break a Few Eggs. Now, be sure to watch that first video. You're going to miss crucial bits of Wonder Boy lore here. At Hopper Manor, Henry Hopper, father of Dennis Hopper, aka Wonder Boy, is showing his son an old television show. The Adventures of Peanut Man and Acorn Girl. Come on, Acorn Girl, the bank is being robbed. Let's be safe and save the day. Yepper do, Peanut Man. I think this is a very good commentary on Wonder Boy that I didn't even know I was making, because I think I'm setting up Peanut Man and Acorn Girl to be this stupid, corny, cheesy superhero show, and I'm self-aware that it's corny and cheesy, but I thought Wonder Boy was the opposite of that it was dark and serious. So it's a very ironic sort of commentary. It makes this a work of art. It looks like they were watching it on a DVD of some sort, so I don't know why it got interrupted by a news report, but apparently someone who looks like Eggman, the villain from Peanut Man and Acorn Girl, just robbed a bank, and the news says there were no witnesses, but they did get a photo of the robber, so I don't know how that happened if nobody saw it. They know he's going to hit a jewelry store next, because that's what he did in the show. Just coincidentally, there is a jewelry store, Jenny's Jewelers, that has a jewel-encrusted egg that it is now added to its collection. So, of course, that's where Eggman's going to hit, and that's where he does hit. Skydiving out of a plane. Where did he get the plane? If he's got the budget for these kinds of heists, does he really need to be hitting small? It seems like Jenny's Jewelers is a locally owned kind of mom and pop jewelry store. If he's got the funds to be parachuting out of a plane for a heist, he can be hitting bigger things than this. Eggman, he's got an egg gun. A gun that just fires regular eggs, and that's enough to take down Wonder Boy and Robo-Dog. And so they are now watching Peanut Man and Acorn Girl to find out where his hideout is, because he's an idiot who just follows to the letter exactly what happens in the show. They go to his lair, and Eggman just explains his entire backstory to them. He played Eggman on TV. He was the actor who played him. I guess that Peanut Man and Acorn Girl is not an animated show. It is a live action show, and he is currently wearing the costume he wore in the show that somehow makes him a stick figure. That is a very tight costume. He drops an egg grenade into a vat of acid, and that's where the comic ends. And I couldn't find part 2, so we're just going to live with that cliffhanger forever as we move on to issue number 6, Mask. So we meet Dr. Ferdinand Mitchell, who is studying an ancient mask that has been brought into his lab, and he's saying, I still can't find anything odd about this mask. Well, it's a mask. If you can't find anything odd about it, I don't know why he's focusing so much on it. It's a mask. Oh no, he's gotten shut down because his wing of the university created Dr. Monkey and the Sandman. 2 villains that you would know about if you had seen part 1. Watch part 1. I told you you'd miss crucial bits of the lore. But this doesn't make any sense, because Dr. Monkey, he was a medical scientist. Like, he was a human biologist, I think. And Sandman, he was a psychologist. And it looks like Dr. Mitchell is a historian. So, what does this wing of the university study? Just things.
Studyology? Class 101? Look, this one just says learning with an exclamation point.
Ferdinand is very upset about being fired, and the mask begins to speak to him and says, "Then exact your revenge. Put me on, and your enemies will fear the name Ferdinand Mitchell." And Mitchell, he decides to put him on. Like, you can't hurt anything just putting it on. Kids, if a mask begins to speak to you and tells you that it can help you get revenge on your enemies, don't put it on. It's a bad idea, even one time. But Ferdinand doesn't think so. So he puts it on, and the guy who just fired him runs in like, "What? I heard a scream." And then Ferdinand says, "Like you care, you heartless fiend." And he kills him. The dude is dead. I think I intended him to be dead. I didn't show it outright because I was a coward. But these are hardcore comics, as I said earlier. So he's dead. So he teleports to Alcatraz Asylum and he kidnaps Dr. Monkey out of his cell. The news says that Dr. Monkey was found missing and they assume he escaped. Are there no cameras in this asylum? Are there no guards stationed outside the cells to keep an eye on just this sort of thing? They're like, "Oh, guess he escaped. No idea how he did that." Nobody was keeping an eye on the dangerous convict. But Wonder Boy, somehow he knows that he didn't escape. He was kidnapped. He doesn't have any evidence for this. He just knows. Okay? He's that good. So he is staking out Alcatraz Asylum in Slithero's cell. I don't know. I guess I just wanted Slithero to cameo because I liked Slithero. But first, I don't know why he's in the cell. You'd think that will make it a lot harder to get out and stop whatever he thinks is going to happen. And because he's so stupid, Sandman gets kidnapped by Mask. And apparently Wonder Boy knows Dr. Mitchell. This was never established earlier on. This is the first time Dr. Mitchell has ever shown up in a Wonder Boy comic. But he knows him. This is a retcon, I guess. Dr. Mitchell, now going by Mask, kidnaps Sandman. And Wonder Boy, look at that. Look at that. That's beautiful. Look at that drawing. You can see the shock on his face with that beautiful art. Oh my goodness, that's beautiful. Puts Alex Ross to shame. Now, Wonder Boy figures out where Sandman is because there is coal dust on his footprints. And the only place you can get coal dust, that's right, a coal mine. So that's obviously where he is. That's probably the best bit of detective work Wonder Boy has ever done, to be honest. Okay, Mask's evil plan, he has hung Dr. Monkey and Sandman above whirling saw blades and pulls a lever to drop them down and also shoots a bit of dark magic at Wonder Boy and Robodog. And his reasoning for this is they can't stop two things at once, even though there is two of them. To be continued, and thankfully I do have part 2 for this one. We're in for a real treat, folks, let me tell you what. So how are Wonder Boy and Robodog going to get out of this one? Well, obviously, Robodog has a mirror in his mouth that he uses to reflect the dark magic and destroy the saw blades, saving both himself and Wonder Boy, as well as Dr. Monkey and Sandman. And Mask goes, "No! You ruined everything. He can never get back this opportunity again. That was his only chance for revenge, and he ruined it." This is actually kind of cute. I think I actually kind of unironically like this bit. As Mask and Wonder Boy fight. By the way, Mask is not using any of his dark magic powers while he's fighting Wonder Boy. You'd think that would come in handy, but no, he's not using any of those powers. But as he does, Sandman and Dr. Monkey kind of slink away to freedom. I think that's kind of cute, honestly. And so Robodog just pulls his mask off and then burns it with the flamethrower and also grappling hook that he has in his mouth. Because he has everything in his mouth. Wait, the story ends with the mask saying, "I am not dead. Mask will rise again." The end. Next up, the day Wonder Boy died. In a harbor, some shady characters are making a deal. So we got just a regular old night for Wonder Boy. Criminals doing criminal things. Wonder Boy shows up to stop him. And Wonder Boy accidentally hits a propane tank. And he flies over to it for some reason. And one of the criminals shoots at the propane tank and blows it up with Wonder Boy next to it. I don't know why Wonder Boy felt the need to fly over to the propane tank. But he's dead. And we see a shady figure reading that Wonder Boy is dead. And I wonder who it could possibly be. There are so many options for who could be reading this newspaper. So the criminal, Mitchell, related to Ferdinand Mitchell, mask. It's a connected universe, guys. He's wearing Wonder Boy's mask. I don't know where he got it because everything blew up. But he has his mask and his cape. And he's like, wow, nobody knew it was you. Even though everyone seems to know it was him because they're chanting his name and also he's wearing Wonder Boy's mask and cape. But like someone comes up and says, I knew it was you. Oh my god, it's Dr. Monkey. I never would have suspected that. And so Dr. Monkey takes Craig Mitchell, brother of Ferdinand Mitchell, back to his evil lair because he says that he wants to work with him. But in reality, he has set up the circumstances of Wonder Boy's death. And he's gonna kill Craig because his reasoning is that his dream of killing Wonder Boy must now go unfulfilled. So he's gonna kill the guy who killed Wonder Boy. And honestly, of all of these comics, that's not the worst motivation. That's probably the best motivation for one of these villains that I've had yet in one of these comics. Not to toot my own horn, but it's not as bad as some of the other motivations have been. But at the last second, Wonder Boy swoops in and saves Craig, and he says that he flew away as soon as he fired the gun, and that's how he survived. He says, I have to hand it to you. You even fooled me for a second. The end. Now, you may have noticed, if you're a fan of Batman the Animated Series, that this is just an episode of Batman the Animated Series. Namely the episode, The Man Who Killed Batman. Every beat of it is the same, with a lowly, wannabe gangster seemingly accidentally killing the hero. And then the big villain comes in, pretending to be proud of the goon, but in actuality, he is furious and tries to kill him, but is then saved by the hero who is not really dead. This is exactly the same story. I am a plagiarist. Please arrest me. Next up, we have Animal Paradise, but I only have the second part. I don't know where the first part went, but I only have the second part. Basically, the story thus far. Slithero has escaped from prison. He is holed up at the zoo and is creating a new army of hyper-intelligent animals led by his first lieutenant, Gator, who is an alligator who wears pants and a shirt and walks on two legs. Oh, and Slithero's evil plot is to release his the formula that gives animals intelligence all across the city to create an army of animals that serve him, and he will take over the city. 3 minutes left. I win. Ha 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 ha. Even though the counter clearly says 3.5 minutes, Slithero can't count. The Wonder Boy comes in and captures him. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, Gator saw the light in the last issue and released Wonder Boy, who had been held captive by Slithero. So Wonder Boy says, I had help. Gator, to be exact. But Gator comes in, and he pretends to have been beaten up by Wonder Boy. This is a huge oh no moment, because Gator was their friend. And apparently, this few sentence exchange between the three of them, like, let's see, how many sentences were said? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 sentences. It took 1.5 minutes to say all of those sentences because the timer is now down to 2 minutes. And Slither says, "You cannot stop me without the password." And Gator has cut the password into the palm of his hand. And Robodog releases a chip from his mouth that downloads itself onto Slithero's computer and stops the countdown. There are so many reasons this makes absolutely no sense. Why did Gator pretend that he had been beaten up? Why did he cut the password into the palm of his hand instead of just telling Wonder Boy the password? How did this thing with Robodog work? He put the password on his eyes and then downloaded that password onto a microchip, shot the microchip out of his mouth. It inserted itself into Slithero's computer, and that stopped the countdown. I don't think I understood how computers work. The day is saved. For some reason, that took 2 minutes. Now, okay, the exchange of Gator giving Wonder Boy the password and then Robodog putting in the password, that took 1/2 minute. And then the process of Wonder Boy typing in the code or whatever that makes the countdown stop took 1.5 minutes because it stopped at 1 second. How slow are these guys? Slithero loses, gets transported back to Alcatraz, and Wonder Boy says, "Okay, but I want to be able to contact you if I ever need help." So Wonder Boy has a new ally in Gator, and I'm sure they're going to do a lot of fun things together in the future. There is one Wonder Boy comic left. The School of Hard Knocks. So Wonder Boy is walking through school and saying, "I hate school. I mean, I'm a superhuman alien. Why do I have to attend human school? That's a wonderful question, Wonder Boy. I don't have an answer." So he meets his new classmates, new additions to the Wonder Boy lore, John Murphy and Sally McLean, and they both say charmed. I don't think middle schoolers, if that's what he was supposed to be, say charmed. So the teacher is teaching them really weird history facts, but Wonder Boy acknowledges that they are weird, which is a first. A character acknowledging that something makes no sense. The other students, they are obeying Miss Coltrane completely, and Wonder Boy begins to be weirded out. This is a good setup for a mystery. Well, I mean, it's not good, but compared to everything else that has been set up here, it's not a bad setup for a mystery. I am learning. So he puts a little listening device on Miss Coltrane's desk. And while he was listening in on Miss Coltrane, the bank was robbed by a group of unknown people. This is top-notch news reporting, by the way, from the Donkerberg local news. His listening device is now picking something up. I guess Miss Coltrane wasn't talking for that entire time, but now that news report comes on, she's talking to someone who says, "Did you hear that, ma'am?" And she says, "Yes, pet. Tomorrow we will reinstate the subliminal messages." Wonder Boy realizes that the textbook is putting subliminal mind control messages into the students' minds. So he flies back to the school where Miss Coltrane still is for some reason. I guess this is the rules of teachers live at school. A group of mind control students come to attack them, and that's it. That's the last Wonder Boy comic ever written. I never finished that story, so Wonder Boy died. The end. So I do have one last comic that is not a Wonder Boy comic, but I think I'll save that for maybe a little bonus video down the road, because this video is probably long enough as it is. But if you enjoyed that, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and watch the first video if you haven't already. You should have. And check me out on Twitter, and I'll see you next time, guys.